Alright guys, it is 7 o'clock on Sunday nights. This was almost late. But I just got home from work, I've got my coffee, I'm ready to go. So I hope you are too. So, I just want to start off with something that I want to make very, very clear to you all. Spot reduction is not a thing. It's just not possible. It's not a part of our physiology. Abs, visible abs, are merely a byproduct of proper training, proper nutrition, and overall calorie expenditure. So for y'all in the back, crunches do not equate to visible abs. And yet I go to the gym and I see it all the time. I see people doing crunch after crunch, day after day, wasting countless hours on this exercise that's just less than stellar. So, how do you actually get abs? Well, there's a couple things that you need to know, and I think it's very important that first and foremost you have a very basic understanding of the anatomy and the function that our abs serve. So I'm going to do like a quick ab anatomy 101 with you and just talk about a few of the muscle groups that are important to this conversation. So, number one is your rectus abdominis. Those are the six-pack muscles you see along the front of the torso. So they flex the torso, they compress the abdomen, and they stabilize the pelvis. So you can see that how those are going to be important when it comes to lifting and training. Then we have the external obliques, and those are the abs that sit right above the hips, and they are important in lateral flexion, rotation, and again compressing the abdomen. The third muscle group I want to talk about is the transverse abdominis, and this is probably the most important. So this is the muscle group that is kind of your built-in weightlifting belt. It wraps around the torso and it stabilizes the spine. It's also the muscle group that is responsible for giving you that smaller and tighter looking waist. Okay? So those are the three main abdominal muscle groups that you should know, and you should know their functions and you should understand that, because without the mind-to-muscle connection, ab training can be very difficult and kind of ineffective. So if you need to learn more, there's so many resources, books, online, everywhere. Do some research, okay? Critical thinking, friends, critical thinking. So now that we know just a little bit of anatomy, I want to talk to you about the next step in getting abs, which is exercise selection. I want a sip of coffee. Uno momento. So, I'm going to give you my top 4 exercises, and just because they're my top 4 doesn't necessarily mean they'll be your top 4. These exercises are not the end-all be-all, do these and you'll get abs, because that's not how it works. These are just the ab exercises I like to incorporate into my plan. You are absolutely free to use them, and you're also free to add in your own. But when you're selecting an exercise, you should know why that exercise, what are its benefits, and how it's going to add to your physique. Okay? So, as I explain them, I will kind of throw in a video demonstration of each exercise so you know what I'm talking about. So, exercise number 1 is going to be ball slams. These are my number 1 for a couple of reasons. First one being is that they're dynamic. They're a full range of motion movement. So you're working anti-extension, you're working anti-rotation, you are incorporating flexion, you're also incorporating stabilization. So you're kind of working all the muscles on all the planes. And then with the 2 birds 1 stone thing, you're also increasing your heart rate and aiding in your calorie burn and fat loss at the same time. Exercise number 2. So we go into some hanging leg raises. These ones are really, really great in terms of how much they activate the rectus abdominis compared to the simple crunch. They also take you through a much fuller range of motion than the crunch does. It's really important, if you guys are incorporating these into your plan, that you guys are thinking about the execution of the exercise. So you don't want to just be swinging your legs up and down using your momentum. You actually want to think about tucking your pelvis under, curling the abs up. And what I like to think about is actually think about, if I'm doing them with bent knees, I think about bringing my knees towards my armpits. And if I'm doing them with straight legs, I think about feet towards the armpits rather than straight up. You also want to make sure that when you're releasing the legs back down, you go slow and controlled, and you're pulling that belly button in towards your spine and activating that TA muscle. Number 3, we go into some decline sit-ups. I actually got that right. I don't know why, but I've been calling them incline sit-ups forever, and they're decline. So. These ones, again, I like for very similar reasons to the hanging leg raise. You get a full range of motion, and you get a lot more activation in the rectus abdominis than in a crunch. Again, you want to think about slow and controlled movements on the way down, and you want to get a full squeeze on the way up. Okay, so this shouldn't be rocking back and forth, using your momentum, swinging up, using your arms, any of those. Take away those cheats. Number 4, my last of my top 4 ab exercises. These ones are called inchworms. And again, there's a couple reasons why they're on this list. First one being that, again, like the ball slams in the beginning, they're dynamic. You're moving your entire body during this exercise. I find for me that my TA, my transverse abdominis, is the most active in this, as I'm trying to pull my belly button up into my spine and prevent my hips from shifting back and forth to the sides when I'm doing this. On top of the ab work, you also get the cardio work, so your heart rate's increasing, and again, you're going to be burning some fat and calories, which is going to aid in your fat loss, which is important for ab development. So now you've got a little bit of anatomy, you've got a little bit of exercise selection, how-tos and whys and ideas, but that's not quite enough to get a visible six-pack, unfortunately. If it was, most people would probably be walking around with visible six-packs. The hardest and most important part of getting those visible abs is your body fat percentage. So everyone has abs, regardless of whether you are active, sedentary, obese, skinny. Everyone has them. They're a part of our human anatomy. How much fat you have and your genetics for fat distribution is going to determine what amount of leanness you need to achieve to reveal your abs. I myself find that I'm very lucky and I don't carry a lot of excess body fat on my stomach, so my abs are nearly visible year-round, not dependent on my weight, whereas some people, that will be the first place that they hold on to fat. So how lean you are to get abs is going to be completely 100% individual based. But either way, most people have to get a little bit leaner to reveal their abs. And this is what I need to stress, guys. To get lean, to lose body fat, there's a couple things that you have to do. Overall, you have to be in a calorie deficit. Okay? You have to be burning more calories than you're taking in, essentially, to keep it on a very basic level. And you can achieve that in a couple different ways. So, dieting, number 1. You want to be in a calorie deficit via your diet, so meaning you are cutting up some calories. And then cardio. You can also add in HIIT cardio or steady state cardio to add into your calorie burn to put you further into a deficit. I definitely recommend making the most of your deficit come out of your diet. You really, if you're eating like crap and you're eating way too much, you're not going to be able to do enough cardio to balance it out. So diet and cardio combined, as well as intense weightlifting. So you should be pushing yourself hard in the gym. You should be lifting those heavy weights and pushing yourself in terms of muscle building. That's going to help with your metabolism and help with fat loss. So that is it, guys. That is the how to get abs. And there's nothing about this was controversial or secret solution, trainers hate me type information. it's simple. It's hard work, but it's simple in equation. You need to make sure that you're training with a mind-muscle connection. You need to make sure that you are choosing the correct exercises, and you need to lower your body fat. If you are doing all of those things consistently, you're doing your cardio, you're training properly, you're eating right, over time, you will get visible abs. It is possible. So, I hope you take that to heart, guys. Please, please, please remember, 100 crunches a day do not get you abs. You cannot spot reduce fat on your belly or any other body part. When you lose body fat, it's going to come off of everywhere. So, that is that, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I tried to keep this one really short for you because I know I've been getting a little lengthy in the prepisodes lately. So, I'm hoping this one is under 8 minutes. Fingers crossed. And that is going to be the whole episode. And we will see you next week at 7 weeks out for Prepisode 11. And as always, if you're enjoying the series, please, please, please thumbs up, subscribe, and leave any comments, questions, anything below. We love to hear from you, and we love to get your feedback. So that is it. We'll catch you in the next one.